Welcome, welcome, welcome. Happy Tuesday. Come on in. I hope everyone had a happy Thanksgiving, a relaxing Thanksgiving. So come on in, come on in. Good morning. Happy Tuesday. Let us know who you are and where you're joining from. I hope you guys like the new time. It should be lunchtime for everybody. Either you're getting ready to go to lunch or you're at lunch. So come on in. Let us know who you are, where you're joining from. And after doing the workshop series for over a week, I realized that when I go live 12:30, for some people it's already afternoon. So yeah, I think I like this time. What about you guys? Let me know in the chat who you are, where you're joining from, what you offer to the government. What do you think about the new time, 11 a.m. Central Standard Time versus 12:30 Central Standard Time? Let me know who you are, where you're joining from, what you offer to the government. And then we're going to dive into today's content. If this is your first time, welcome. I'm Felicia, and you're in the community of other contractors. We talk everything government contracting and business, okay? So welcome, welcome. We have Telvis here. Welcome. Is that Tahir? Welcome, welcome. So come on in. Let us know who you are, where you're joining from. Today, we're going to be talking about you, the individual, what's inside of you, and also being a government contractor and how to make that successful for you. So we have Chase. Welcome, welcome. I think you sent me an email, Chase, maybe, or I can't remember if it was email or social media, but I did reply. So hopefully you got that. Good morning. Good morning. Let us know who you are, where you're joining from. All right, we're going to go ahead and dive into today's content. And we're talking about releasing the millionaire contractor inside of you. And I know for some of you guys, you may not can see that. I understand that. For some of you guys, you may say, well, I'm not even looking at one, being a millionaire, two, having $1 million business right now. I'm just trying to win my first contract. Or maybe you're trying to get to 6 figures in contracting dollars and do that consistently. No problem, right? Wherever you are, you just want to take it up to the next level. So we get that. So your goal could be to be a millionaire. It doesn't have to be, but the concept remains the same, okay? So we're going to talk about that today. And just so you guys know, this is a part of the 5-part government contracting framework that I talked about with you guys. I want to say, was it week before last, before we went on Thanksgiving break? And so I'm just pulling pieces from there that I'm sharing with you guys. Okay. So hopefully that's okay. This is what I teach my paid clients. So I just wanted to, as we round out the year, just with everything that's been going on, I want to, hopefully open up the possibilities for you guys so that you can see what's possible and that you'll take action on that. Who else is here? Kay. Hey, welcome, Kay. I think Kay won something when we did the workshop series, we gave away a bunch of different gifts. We had sponsors and everything. And Kay won something. Pam is in the house. Pam actually won a seat. I believe it was you, Pam. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it was you. Pam won a seat into the Contractors Edge Bootcamp. So I gave away 2 seats into the actual paid program, the Contractors Edge Bootcamp. Yes, I did. So Pam should have her access and everything. I think we gave it to her as promised, that following Monday or Tuesday when we finished up and we selected winners and all of that stuff. And yeah, Pam said it's her. Good morning, Johnny. All right, awesome. So you just never know what we're going to do over here in this community, okay? So I was just excited to be able to do that and just bless a few people with some gifts. And I think we probably had over 10 winners because we gave out various things every day. And we had 2 other sponsors in addition to myself as to things we gave away. We gave away books, t-shirts, seats into my Contractors Edge Bootcamp. I gave away 2 of those. I think I gave away 3 seats into the sequencing formula. And then I know one of my sponsors gave away a VIP session. And then she also gave away, I think it was 4 other sessions in addition to one of her programs. We had the other sponsor. She gave away some certification consults with your certification. So it was great. All right. Just so you guys know. So just be on the lookout for the next time we do it. That's all I can tell you. All right, so let's dive into today's content. I did want to share that with you guys. Also, you know, if you didn't join, you know, just try to catch us next time. Even if you can't join live, what we did is we had the replays available for you. I think it was like 3 to 4 days after we finished, maybe 5 days after the fact, you could go in and binge watch the replay. So yeah, that was awesome. Awesome. And if any of you guys want to know what Pam won and some of the other people that's in the Contractors Edge Bootcamp, you can go check it out over at firstbiddonefast.com. You'll see what they're getting, what I'm going to be taking them through. And guess what? We start tomorrow. Let me check. Yep, tomorrow's December 2nd. We start tomorrow. So I'm excited about that. Let's see. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Awesome. So if you do want to join that, you can definitely, you know, go check it out. I'll put the link down here. And I did get a couple emails from a few people that have a couple questions, I guess, before they sign up or they need to speak with me. That's cool. I got those. So I'll be reaching out to you guys this afternoon. I'm just typing in the link for you guys. All right. So there you go. You can go check it out. All right. So here we go. And I see some new people joining us. Isabella, welcome. Did I miss anybody? If I did, hello. All right. So here we go. Now, here's what I encourage you guys. I want to encourage you, you know, if you come here every week or you watch the replays, one, I want to encourage you to take action. That's one of the biggest things that we talked about last week or week before last during the workshop series. I gave you guys assignments to do every day to start building your leads, turning those leads into contracts. Okay. So anything I'm teaching, there's always a takeaway. There's always a nugget or something that you can take and take action on. So I just want to encourage you guys to continue to do that, continue to look at things from that perspective, because I'm going to give you some stuff today too. Okay. So here's the thing. The millionaire contractor, whether you want it or not, we all have it inside of us. Okay. It's not like I have it and you don't. The possibility is there for all of us. We just have to, one, be ready and be open to receive it and see it and then take action. I can't stress enough, you know, action, taking action, implementing, execution. I don't care whatever word you like to use. One of those works. They're all about being in movement. Okay. So you want to make sure you're doing that. Okay. Now, what happens is a lot of times how do I want to say this? We're afraid to bet on ourselves. Let's put it out there. And here's what I mean by that. You're afraid to bet on yourself because we know contracting, business in general is a risk. And so a lot of times we're afraid to bet on ourselves, which means we're going to stay in our comfort zone. For some of you guys, that could be your business. Some of you guys, it could be in the sector that you're already in. You know, you're like, okay, I got my foot in this. It's working. I'm just going to continue to do these type of contracts, these size contracts. You know, it's enough. I'm able to pay my bills and I'm cool with it. That's your decision. Whatever your desire is, I'm not trying to change that. Okay. Everybody's level of success or what success looks like for you is in the eye of the beholder. So don't get it confused just because I say millionaire, $1 million or 6 figures or whatever. You know what your goal is. And so I'm talking to you based on what your goal is and where you're trying to go as you're trying to take it to that next level. Okay. We always want to be progressing to something that's next. That's the only way we can grow. That's the only way you'll get to a point to where you're able to scale your business. Okay. So that's very, very important. Now, I got notes for this one. Let me see. Here's the other thing with not being a millionaire. All right. And let me just say this. I'm wherever you guys are right now. Trust me, I've been there. Okay. I've been there where if you looked at my story, if you've been to my website on my about page, I talk about it. If you've watched, I think I have maybe 2 or 3 videos here on this channel at various times where I talked about where I started and how I got to where I am today. Okay, so I've talked about that. And really, it's just going through the process, going through experiences, and learning from your mistakes, learning along the way. Now, I can say when you get with someone that has paved the path, right? Meaning they walk the same path that you're now walking, that it's easier with their help to get there faster. Okay. And so I tell you guys that to say, if you know my story, I got myself a mentor, and that's where I went from 23,000 to over 7 million in 18 months, because we've talked about this. I think it was day 2 of the workshop. I can't remember, but we talked about capacity. We talked about having resources. So, if I only made $23,000 in the previous year, I don't have the resources to do 1 million in contracting dollars versus 7, right? So I had to put some things in place. And so I want to encourage you guys to look at that from that perspective. I don't care where you're at, but as you're trying to get to that next level, you have to be mindful, and you need to know, what is it going to take? Okay. So not only are we releasing the millionaire in you, but we're getting you to start thinking like a millionaire as well, as it relates to your business and taking it to that next level. Again, fill in the dollar amount with whatever you want it to be right now. Okay. Whatever will fuel you and get you into action, that's what you want to look at right now. So again, if it's not $1 billion, no problem. Put in whatever number it is. When I say millionaire, you say what it is for you. Okay. And you have to also understand, as you progress into being the millionaire and bringing that millionaire out inside of you, what does that mean? Like, what does that look like? How is that going to change your life? How is that going to change your business? And for your family, like, what would that be? Right? And so I think that will help you also in fueling the fire to make you get into action and do the things that you need to do. Another thing, I can attest to this. I can really attest to this. And I feel you guys where you're at, and I know this. And this is a quote. You can share it out, say I said it, whatever. But money is a tool. Okay. And I had to look at it from this perspective and realize that this is what it is. Money is a tool that allows you to do the things that you want to do. That is how I look at money. As a millionaire, and you look at it from that perspective, wherever you're at in your business, get it to that next level, you will realize that money is nothing more than a tool that will allow you to do the things that you want to do. Money also will allow you to never have to make a decision based on money. When you get to a certain level, the decisions you make, how you move, how you negotiate deals, how you create partnerships, teaming arrangements, all of that will change. Like, you'll feel this shift where you're in a better position to negotiate when you don't have to make deals solely based on money, meaning your lack thereof. Okay. So just keep that in mind. As the money flows in, right, it will allow you to reposition yourself. If you guys remember, as I shared the 5 parts of the government contracting framework with you a couple weeks ago, I told you, now I laid it out step by step, each phase that you would move through initially. But I also told you after that, you will also go back through various phases at different times to reposition. So as your business grow, you always have to come back to the 5 P's and reposition accordingly. And so you also have to be able to recognize where you're at and which part of the phase you need to come back to. So are you wondering what the 5 phases are? Let me throw them down for you real quick. So you have position, and you have profit, you have partner, you have perform, and you have pace. Okay. Those are the 5 P's: position, profit, perform, partner, pace. Those are the 5. Okay. Pam's writing them down for us. Thank you. Thank you. So we got position. I'm going to say it one more time because she's doing the note taking. Bless you. So you have position, you have profit, you have perform, you have partner, and you have pace. Throughout your journey in business, you will always be moving through those phases. And let me tell you, whether you're doing contracting with the government, whether it's private sector, corporate, I don't care, you're going to be moving through those 5 phases as you continue to grow and have your business evolve. Okay, so you'll always revisit that. Now, I understand. Here's the thing, and I'm sure you guys can feel me on this. Growing up, being raised, even in school, we were taught to avoid risk, right? Think about it like this. If you raised your hand in class and you got the wrong answer, right? It wasn't like, well, good try, Johnny, right? It was like, nope, wrong answer, and they move on. Like, so we weren't rewarded or encouraged to try, right? Our grades said that, right? Just because you tried, they didn't care, right? You could have had an E and you tried. They only rewarded the A's and the B's and things like that. Do you remember, what was it? I forget what they call it, but at the end of the year, they would have the scholarship program or the awards programs, and they would give out awards to AB students, right? You remember that, things like that. So they only encouraged when you did good. But we also, as business owners, we have to learn to take risks. Being a business owner is a risk, first of all. And so going into a contract is a risk. Teaming with another company is a risk. There are always risk factors, but what you have to learn how to do is minimize the risk. Okay. Another thing is, if you think about it, coloring. I love to color, but what were we taught in school to color? You had to color within the lines. Do you remember having art in elementary school? And if you went outside the lines, that wasn't an A. You weren't getting an A because you went outside the line. So we had to stay within the line. So I want to just, again, encourage you guys to, as you're growing your business, don't stay within the lines. Like, think outside the box. How can you be creative? Because there are things out there that you may not have tried, that others may not have tried, that will work. And a lot of times, if you ask someone, they'll say, no, oh, no, that won't work. Oh, no, you can't do that. And that's only because they haven't tried it and no one else have. And so nobody's heard of that. Well, in my business, we did some things that were unheard of, and it allowed us to go from 23,000 to 7 million on to 15 million and continue from there. And so you have to be able to, one, see the possibility. Remember I said you have to see the possibility. You have to see the opportunities, right? Because they're out there. It's just depending on your mindset that you may not see them. Even $1 million contract, depending on where you're at, if that's your desire, you can see $1 million contract and be like, nope, can't do it. Now, if you remember, I think it was day 2 of the workshop, I talked about your approach. And so I would just encourage you to look at the opportunity and look at it from the place of, okay, how can I approach this in order to win it? Not, oh my gosh, no, it's $1 million, I can't do it, because it's possible. I even shared one of my client success stories where she won a deal. She did a teaming arrangement and they won a $50 million contract. Okay. Now, initially she couldn't see the opportunity, but luckily I was her coach. I could see the opportunity. And so end result, $50 million contract within a teaming arrangement. So anything's possible. You just have to believe that, and you have to think outside the box and be open to the opportunities. And then you just have to know how to approach them too. You know, you have to know how to negotiate, bid, all that stuff, of course. Okay. And if you're fearful, if you're afraid of taking risks, if you're afraid of coloring outside the line, then you're going to be afraid to take risks. You're going to be afraid to grow your business. Because we also know if we grow our business, what happens? We have to scale. We have to hire people, right? It's more people involved than just us or just you and your partner or you and your spouse or whoever's helping you, or if it's just you. And it's scary. I get it, because now you're depending on other people as it relates to your success, as it relates to you being able to take care of your family. Totally get it. But can I say something? If you really, really think about it, if you're in a job, you're still dependent on someone else. You do know that, right? To be able to take care of yourself, your family, and feed your family, things like that. And I don't know how old you guys are, but let me just say, I remember my dad, mom working, right? That kind of thing. And they had retirement pensions, you know, that kind of thing. My dad worked one job, you know, for the duration, but that's not the case today. So we have to also understand that the security of a job is not what it used to be. Okay. And I always say, and I said this during the Get Government Contracts workshop as well, if I'm a bet on anything, I'm a bet on myself. I'm a bet on myself because I know what I'm going to bring to the table. I know how I'm going to execute. Okay. So be mindful of that. So let's talk about 3 shifts to let the millionaire inside of you out. If you're just starting, the 6-figure business owner out, right? Whatever your goal is, let's talk about how you can release that. Are you ready? Okay. So the first thing is, number 1, you want to look at calculated risk. Calculated risk. So here you're going to think outside the box. You're going to think outside of what you've already done. What can I do different, right? What can I change? What can I tweak? How can I make this better? How can I make this deal happen? Think outside the box. Okay. Now, I just said outside the box, not inside the box. There's a difference. Of course, look inside the box too. But if you can't find it, then think outside the box. You got to be creative. If you think about it, kids are very, very creative. If you have little kids, nieces, nephews, whatever, you're around little kids, you know they'll ask you something and you say no. Don't faze them at all, because they're coming back a little bit later and they're going to ask you again because maybe you've changed your mind, right? And they're okay with that. They will ask and ask and ask until they get a yes. Okay. So I want you to think outside the box. Think outside or beyond what you already know. Think beyond what you've already accomplished, because you also could be saying, well, geez, I just got to the point to where I won a $10,000 contract. I can't possibly see winning a $50,000 contract. In most cases, it's just an extra 0, right? Or it's just an extra 10,000, 20, whatever, right? In most cases, as you go from 10,000 to 6 figures, it's an extra 0. The work is the same. Here's something I realized in contracting. 2 things. One is just as, I don't want to say hard, it's just as much work to find and win a $10,000 contract as it is a 6-figure contract or even a 7-figure contract. Same amount of work. The effort in delivering is the same. It's just that with larger projects, a larger dollar value sometimes, depending on what you're doing, it's going to take more people, right? And so you have to look at it from that perspective and not be afraid to take your business to that next level, okay? So think of it as not saying no when an opportunity presents itself, but thinking, how can I? All right. So maybe saying yes and then figuring it out, because there's a way. Trust me. If other people are doing it, you can do it too. You just have to figure out how. Now, if you're doing these things and over time, if you set a solid business foundation, you're doing the things that you need to do, you can now minimize the risk, right? Which will make you feel a whole lot better, right? So I'm sure that. And then I also get, most of us, we may be on social media to, some degree or something like that, but we don't want other people to see us fail. Again, it's just like in the classroom. A lot of times, if you know you don't read very well, you never volunteered to read. The teacher had to call on you. If math wasn't your thing, you didn't volunteer to go up to the board and work out that problem because it was a risk. And if you failed, you were going to fail publicly. And that's what some people even feel with government contracting. Like, well, if I don't win the contract, then everybody's going to know I didn't win and I did something wrong. No. You know, a lot of times contracts are either based on price or best value. And given that, it's not a hit to you personally. Even in business, when, you know, you present a proposal or however you're contracting right now and somebody says no, they're not saying no to you. They're saying no to the opportunity right now of whatever it is. It has nothing to do with you. So we have to learn to detach ourselves, right, from our business. And when people tell us no, it has nothing to do with us. It's just a business decision that they're making. Okay. Now, I can't remember who it was, but somebody won my Entrepreneur Edge book. So I have a book I co-authored. And in that book, I talk about being a true visionary leader of your business. So all of you here today, all of you that come back, watch the replay. So I'm talking to replay viewers too. You're going to have to learn to step into being the true visionary leader of your business. Okay. It's going to require that in order for you to grow. Step into being the true visionary leader. Step into that CEO role of your business and make the things happen that needs to happen. Like there's going to be decisions that come up. Things are going to happen. You're going to have to step in as the CEO and make those decisions and then live with it. Here's another quote that I always say: make the decision and then make the decision right. So even if you make a decision, you feel like, oh my gosh, it's the wrong decision, make it right. How can you fix it, right? Go at things from that perspective. All right. 2, make decisions based on investment and the ROI, meaning your return on investment. So what am I saying? Make the decision. Here's the investment. So for example, let's talk about the Contractors Edge Bootcamp because the doors are open. So you have the Contractors Edge Bootcamp. It's $997 to join us. Okay, you're getting all the training modules, and then we're doing 6 live training sessions as well. So you get training material, 6 live sessions. So we're doing those in December and January because we have the holiday, right? Okay, so here we go. So Contractors Edge Bootcamp, $997. That's the investment. Let's talk about the ROI, return on investment, right? Now, of course, for everybody, the return on investment will be different. The ultimate goal, of course, is that everybody wins a contract and you know how to do it, right? So that's one thing, but the dollar amount will be different. Let me give you some examples. Investment, $997. We have, I'm going to get their names mixed up, but I'm going to say we had one lady, they're on the website. I can't remember, but I'm going to just say lady, okay? So she invested $997, contract $88,000. What was her return on investment? It was more than the investment into the program, right? Another student, $997, $48,500 contract. What was the return on investment, right? How do we decide that? You take what they made, and that's just one contract. You know, they've won more since then, right? So, but just let's, for numbers, talk about the first one. So you have $48,500. You take off, let's just say $1,000, $997. So now we're at $4,750. Was it worth it? Was the return on investment worth it? The other lady, $88,000. Was it even or 500? I don't know. Let's just say $88,000 for number purposes. She invested $997. So $88,000 minus $1,000 is $87,000. Was it worth the investment? Right? Another guy, $997 investment. I think he did $160,000. I can't remember the number, but was it worth the investment? Right? So let's say 160 minus 1,000 is what? 159,000. Was it worth the return on investment? So you get what I'm saying? So as you're investing in your business, as you're making decisions to grow your business, you have to be able to look at things from that perspective. Okay. You have to make decisions that are sound business decisions, not without the facts and things like that, right? Like, oh no, I don't see it. Like, do the calculations, whether it's investing in a program to educate yourself, whether it's doing a teaming arrangement, whether it's doing an actual contract, right? Depends on the deal and what you guys are putting together as to whether the ROI is worth it. And I have a training that I give. It's called the Create Your Best Deal. And so that helps you guys in determining if your return on investment makes sense, right? Versus the investment. So I hope you guys get what I'm saying when I say look at the investment and also look at your return on investment. Okay. I think using those examples should be great. Well, one more. Let me give you one more. So we're talking about return on investment. So we all know when we're bidding contracts, right, that it takes time and resources to bid and deliver. Okay. And so that's an investment, right? But we also have to look at the return on investment, meaning if the contract, say, is $20,000, it takes us maybe $5,000 to deliver on the contract. So now we have a surplus of $5,000, right? So you invested $5,000, you're going to clear $15,000, which is your return on investment. Was it worth it? You see? And so that's why when we're bidding contracts, we want to make sure that we're profitable, because that's our return on investment, is those profits. We don't want to break even, because if we break even, then we only make our investment back, right? The goal is to get a return on investment. How many of you guys can say yes? Like, you see this, you understand the big picture here, right? When you're bidding contracts, you understand how to now look and see if it's worth the investment to do the contract. Also, if you're on the fence, you're thinking about the Contractors Edge Bootcamp, now you can see if the investment versus the return on investment is worth it. Sometimes I get asked that question, so I didn't even know that example was going to come out, so that's cool. Let's see. Okay, another thing about investing, even when things go wrong, remember I said make the decision and then make the decision right. So I have a client, his name is Chris. And I shared, I think it was day 3 or 4. I can't remember, but I shared more about it. So anyway, profits, which is one of our parts of the framework, profit and performing. Okay, those two. So he had issues in both of those because he had constant turnover with employees. So yes, he has actual employees and there's this turnover. And I'm like, okay, if people are steady coming and going, it's not them, it's you. Remember, I also talked about stepping into being the true visionary leader of your business, stepping into that CEO role and being able to make those decisions. But you also have to be able to see things, right? You have to see when things aren't working and you have to take action. And sometimes that's looking at the numbers, because a lot of times our hearts and things like that and our feelings, right, get in the way. But because initially he's like, oh, these people, they're all bad. And I was like, wait a minute, after, 4 or 5 people, it can't be them. They're all different people. The only constant here is you. And so when you're tracking things, tracking your numbers, you'll be able to see the facts without your heart and feelings getting in the way. Okay. So that's very, very important that you take ownership of that. And as you're going through your business, look at ways to improve as things, happen in your business, good or bad. How can you improve on it if it's good? And if it's not working, how can you tweak it and make it better? That is your goal. That is your role as the entrepreneur. Okay. All right. And so the third thing, again, is your ROI. So return on investment. You always have to look at your return on investment. Millionaires, trust me, before they invest, give, whatever, they're looking at their return on investment. Especially because all of you guys here, I'm pretty sure you guys are all entrepreneurs, small business owners, meaning you're in business to make money. I very seldom get someone that says their business is a nonprofit. So then, of course, you may not care about the monetary return on investment, but we're not going to get into that because everybody here that's looking to get into government contracting and win contracts are for-profit business. So you always have to look at your return on investment. So looking at your return on investment, you guys are all here. I love to have you here every week, and I appreciate you guys coming, showing up, engaging with me and all of that stuff. But you also have to ask yourself, what is the return on investment of me showing up here every week? Is it getting me to my goals? Now, let me just say, I have a lot of people that come to the lives and they watch my videos and they're able to take that and run with it. And I applaud them for that. But I also know that everybody can't do that. And so that's why we have the Contractors Edge Bootcamp for those that need more support and they want to work with me in a group setting, but also have that one-on-one feel. Because in my programs, they're small enough to where, and I always keep it small enough because even if we have to do 2 separate sessions at the same time, I'll break people up so that you still get your one-on-one time with me. And so I know some people need that, right? Now, you also have to look at this. If you're trying to grow your business, you're trying to learn things, and your method is searching Google, searching YouTube, and then you're trying to piece things together. You're trying to fill in the gaps of any deficiencies that you have. Hopefully you even know what your deficiencies are. What is that ROI in doing that? And like, how fast will that get you to your goal? Now, I get it. Some people, they're not in a rush. I have 5 more years in my business, in my job. I'm not retiring for that. I don't really plan on doing anything before then. So I'm just going to, research. No problem. But we also have some people that it's an urgent need that they want to get out of their job, or with everything that's going on, they're no longer in their job. And so their business is now their main thing and they need it to get cash flow as quickly as possible. You have to ask yourself, by going the Google route, going the YouTube route, how is that helping you achieve your goal? And will it get you there as fast as you want to get there? So you have to ask yourself that. Now, here's another thing. I don't know if you guys realize this, but most businesses fail. That's the reality. It's true. Shoot, I'm going to tell the truth. I've had more businesses than you probably realize. They just didn't work out. So hence, you probably don't know. But we all go through that phase. Businesses fail. But over the time, I did learn some things. And back then, I was trying to do it all on my own, too. I'm going to be totally transparent about that. And so businesses fail. A lot of times, we make decisions based on cost. And we don't want to invest in training, going to workshops, seminars, all that kind of stuff that will help us get there faster. And I don't know why. Now, I can also say that I've invested in a lot of things that I didn't take action on too. But they were other businesses, they weren't my passion, more than likely. They just weren't. And so I just didn't take action on it. I did, go to the trainings, learn what they taught and that kind of thing. And I'm like, no, that's not really what I want to do. Like, gosh, what is that? The Amazon affiliate thing. I think it's called FBA something. I did that. Yeah. And I was like, you know what? Because I was looking at expanding and I was like, nope, sounds too techy. I don't want to do that. So I decided not to do it. But we all go through that, where we invest in things and then we realize, no, not what I want to do. So one thing I do in the boot camp, and this is why, is that I keep it small because I want to help people succeed. People coming in, they say, they want to become a government contractor. They want to win a contract. So my goal is to help you get your first bid done fast. And so I will push you. I call out everybody every week in attendance. If you're there, I'm going to say, hey, Pam, so tell me what's going on after the trainings, what's going on, where you're at in your business, what you're working on, what questions you have. And then I'll answer that, give feedback, all that great stuff. And then if there's any gaps that I see, maybe she didn't recognize them, but I always give you answers to the questions you don't know to ask. So I love doing that. So Pam, get ready for that tomorrow. Sometimes in business, we also want that immediate gratification. that immediate return on investment. Sometimes it will happen, sometimes it will not. And so you have to understand that, you know, as kids, we want it now. We want it now, right now, right? But as adults, we have to learn sometimes to be patient, right? Work the process, especially when you're negotiating deals. You can't be too quick, too jumpy, that kind of thing. If, you know, depending on what you want, you just have to be mindful of that. Okay. Another fact, most businesses make less than $50,000 a year. Did you know that? Most people make less than $50,000 a year, which is less, which is less than most people make in their career. So what are you going to do about that? What are you going to do to beat the odds? You don't have to tell me. Write it down. If you're taking notes, write that down. What are you going to do to beat the odds? So like in the next 12 months, you will assure that you cross the $50,000 mark. My allergies have been off the chain. It finally cooled off here in Texas. Okay. One last piece before we wrap up. Here's why I suggest that you diversify. So any of you guys here, if you've been to my website, you've got the free resource that I offer on my homepage. All you have to do is put in your information so we can send it to you. It's about working within the private sector to build cash flow while you're building your government contracting business. Too many times I have people come to me and they think that they have to wait to start making money until they become a government contractor. No. We want to get to cash flow as quickly as possible. And I have some people inside the boot camp, their goal is to do private sector work and not really federal government. And we have some that just want to do state government. Everybody's business is different as far as their goals, but neither here nor there. Diversify, because when one market is down, the other will usually be up, right? And so that'll keep our business sustained. If you think about it, with everything that's going on, and if you look at certain businesses where they may be struggling more than others, or even some have closed, look at who their market was and was it diversified, and that'll kind of help you understand that. Okay, so diversify. You got your private sector, you have the government sector, you have corporate, you have business to business, you have the business to consumer, right? So diversify. That's very, very I like to say important. Some people may do it, some may not, but I like to diversify. Now, here's what I like about the private sector and business to customer, business to business, that you can get paid quickly. The process is usually faster than the government in most cases, as well as corporate. Now, government, once you're in the payment system, right? And if you're doing long-term contracts, after 30 days, once you get your first payment, it's like clockwork. Every 30 days, the check comes. You know, you have to invoice and there's, you know, that kind of thing, but it's consistent. So you can, you know, count on it at that point. But I do like to diversify. I also like the private sector because it'll get you, one, to cash flowing quickly, and also to the point to where you can start paying yourself and replace your job income with your business income. And that's a great place to be, because that's when you're deciding, is it time for me to quit? Trust me, when the time comes, in most cases, if you're paying attention, you will know. It'll also allow you to hire help, get support in the areas that you need. It will also allow you to continue to educate yourself. Like, there is never a time where you're not learning in business, right? Things are always forever changing. And so we all have to learn. Again, you can't see the picture when you're the frame. I tell you guys that. And so for me, I understand that. So we all have to have someone that's on the outside supporting us, right? Teaching us. Like I say, giving me answers to the questions I don't know to ask, right? Because as you go to a new level, like, you don't know the questions to ask because you haven't been there before, right? So just be mindful of that. Now, the government, of course, that's where you get your big tickets in most cases. You'll see larger profit margins as you get into larger contracts. It'll allow you to start leveraging resources, scaling your business, and it will change the scope of your business. It will change the direction of your business in the right way if you let it and if you position your business correctly to make that happen. And that's why the first thing I talk about in my 5-part government contracting framework is positioning. You always have to be positioned, and then, you know, and you're partnering and things like that, and it will get you there to where you're trying to go. So that's very, 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 very important. So here's what I want to invite you guys to do. I want to invite you all right here, right now, my replay viewers, to release the millionaire inside of you. Release it. Release it. Let it go buck wild. Okay? And you'll be surprised. Release it. Take on work. Take on opportunities. As you start winning contracts and more contracts, you're going to realize, you're going to see, you're going to notice that your quality of life will change. You will realize that. You'll also see that you have the freedom to make choices. Remember, I talked about money as a tool, and you want to get to a place where you never have to make a decision based on money again. I was there. And it's not a great place to be. But now I don't have to do that. And I thank God for that every day. And that's one thing that you'll see when you release the millionaire inside of you and you let the things happen and you get your business to that place or space where you can see that money is just a tool that allows you to do the things that you want to do. And then you go get the money so that you can do the things that you want to do. Life-changing, the type of decisions you make will change, things like that. You'll also see time freedom, right? You're not punching a clock. Maybe you're punching your own clock, but that's cool. That's your clock, right? Not somebody else's. You'll have financial freedom. You know, whatever your goal is, you know, taking your family on vacations and things like that, maybe buying a new piece of equipment for your business, whatever it is, you know, you'll have financial freedom to do the things that you want to do. And then you'll have that choice freedom to make choices. Because things will come up in personal life, business, and all of that, where there's a choice to be made. There's a decision to be made. And then you'll be able to make that decision from a place of power, meaning it's not based on your lack of money or thereof, or lack of resources or something like that. You'll make a sound decision based on maybe the facts, if you will, and that kind of thing, versus I don't have this, so the answer has to be this, versus no, that's just not the best business move right now. And you always have to know where your business is at, what your business need, and things like that to be able to make that decision for sure. Okay. So yeah, go ahead. We'll answer a couple questions if you guys have any questions on what we talked about today, or government contracting. Or the Contractors Edge Bootcamp, if you have a question about that, because I did get some emails. I'm going to try to get back to you guys this afternoon, but you're always welcome. If you have questions about the Contractors Edge Bootcamp, ask them here. We're here. If you have questions that you're going to save and wait to email me, most of the time after the fact, I probably won't answer them, because we're here. Answer the question while you're here. That's another thing. Millionaires ask questions to get the answers that they need. Like if they have a question, right? And they're not afraid, ashamed, or anything like that. They're going to do what it needs. How do I say it? They're going to do whatever it takes to get what they want. Like they're not going to be afraid. Like, oh, that was a dumb question. There's no dumb question, right? In school, you know, people are like, oh, you asked that. Not here. We're totally transparent, open, and I try to keep the community as such. So if you have any questions, go ahead, start popping your questions in. And I think that's all I have here. Yep. So what questions do we have? Let's see. Where's my mouse? It moved on me. I gotta find. Okay, there it is. All right. Let's see. Any questions? So if you have any questions, go ahead and type your questions in. Isabella says, please, Felicia, circle back as soon as you can today for same page, please. What do you mean? Isabella, let me know. I don't know what you mean. Any questions? Is that Naima? I hope I'm saying that right. Lewis said, after the boot camp, do you offer mentorship? Yes, I do. After the boot camp, I have where you can work with me for 30 days, like for a month. We can work together. So yeah, I do have mentorship after that where we can work together privately one-on-one. I also have a group program as well that's longer. And in there, we're again working on the 5 Ps, but we're at the next level of that. Okay. And the Contractors Edge Bootcamp is about getting your first bid done and learning how to bid, find your customer, find contracts, and that kind of thing. Next level contractor is next level. Okay. So yeah, we do have that. Great question. Okay, was that you, Isabella, that sent me the email? Okay, what was your question? You can pop it in here if you want. So I know Isabella has, so I think that was you. It could have been somebody else too. It was somebody else, so I don't know. Tell me what your question was. I don't remember seeing yours. What question did you have, Isabella? So I'm going to put the link to the Contractors Edge Bootcamp in here too, since you're asking again. What was your question? I don't think I saw yours, Isabella. It may be in my email, but yeah, I can look this afternoon. But if you're here, go ahead and ask your question. Anyone else have any questions before we wrap up? Again, Contractors Edge Bootcamp session starts tomorrow. This is session 4 of us doing it like this. I've been doing a Contractors Edge Bootcamp for years, though, for years. But we restructured it, I want to say last year or the year before. And so, yeah, this is our last session opening for 2020, of course, because this is December. Of course, you can always join anytime. But after so long, I won't let people into the current session. You can still get the course materials and then join us for the next live session. Also, let me just be totally transparent, waiting on your final questions. And Isabella, go ahead and pop your question in. That after December 31st, the investment into the Contractors Edge Bootcamp is going up. So remember, we talked about investment and ROI. So the Contractors Edge Bootcamp investment is going up. So let's say the Contractors Edge Bootcamp is $3,997 investment. Return on investment, let's talk about what the students did, $88,000. So now you take $4,000 off, $84,000. Was it worth it? Another client, $4,000 investment, they made $48,500. Was it worth the investment? Another one, 160, another one, 50 million, right? Everybody has their own journey and story. Was it worth it? Another one, 400, I think it was $468,500 contract. Investment, $4,000, well, at the time it was $1,000, but in January it would be $4,000. You still have to ask yourself, is it worth it, right? If this is your first time here, definitely go ahead and subscribe to the channel. That way you can get notified when I go live and when I drop new videos. And if you like this video, you like being here today, what we talked about, go ahead and give this a thumbs up. Appreciate it. All right, Isabella, you're going to ask us your question or no? You're going to be shy? Okay. So we'll give you a couple more minutes. I know sometimes it lags just a tad bit, or maybe you're typing it in. But yeah, if you have any questions, go ahead, pop them into the chat. Pop them into the chat. And I'm just going through here to see if I missed anything. Okay. Okay, Isabella. If I get your number, I will call you before registering. Just email me. Email me and put your phone number and I'll give you a call here shortly. So yeah, you can email me over at hello@feliciastreeter.com. So if you have a question about the bootcamp, you have a problem getting registered, anything like that, email me at hello@feliciastreeter.com. Put what your question is, and I can, and your phone number. Question and phone number. If I can answer via email, I'll do that. But sometimes I'll just pick up the phone and call you. So yeah, put your question and yeah. Okay. All right. Awesome. Well, that's it for today. I appreciate you guys coming, hanging out. A lot of energy, let me tell you. I bring my A game. That's why we do it earlier in the day. All right. So we'll talk tomorrow. For those of you guys, I'll see you face to face in our Zoom meeting. The rest of you guys definitely, take action. I shared a lot of stuff in the Get Government Contracts workshop. There's a lot of information here on the channel. I don't care what you do, but get into action. If this is what you want, take action and release the millionaire inside of you. It's in there. You just have to release it and let it go to work. All right. So remember, you're just one contract away. One contract. We talked about changing your life. We talked about never having to make a decision based on money. All of that entails getting your first bid done and winning your first contract. So you're just one contract away and things begin to change. Okay. All right. So until next time, I'll see you guys right back here real soon. Bye for now. There we go.